This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Daylight in the Swamp. Map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub. This is a forestry map. Let me read you a little bit of the description. It says, "Welcome to Daylight in the Swamp. While this logging map is fictitious design, it has a real meaning in my life. Grandfather woke up my mom and her sister's morning hollering, rise and shine, daylight in the swamp, time to get up." So this is kind of an interesting map. When I first was in the map, taking a look at it, the layout looked extremely familiar. Very familiar. So I went ahead and kind of took a look in the mod hub to see if there were other maps that this particular mod authoring group has been known for. And there are two other maps associated with this group of mod authors. We have Dark Forest and St. Croix's Flowage, also associated with the same group that did Daylight in the Swamp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the PDA, and maybe you all will have the same general impression I had. Zoom on out. And I have to say the first impression I had was shop, fuel station, animal dealer, and the sawmill seem to be in the same general spot as we've seen on other maps. So what I'm not sure of is if they've been on Dark Forest and St. Croix's Flowage, just one of those, or what? Or even maybe possibly even more maps other than just those two, because there has been a few of these forestry maps where this orientation of having things on the right side in this general vicinity of each other really seems familiar. Let's take a look at the lands. Start out by owning the bit of land down here by the sawmill. That is $14,900. Land is super cheap. Plot right north of that is $13,000. Plot here at the store, $23,000. Big plot in the middle, $55,000, $42,000, and then the southern plot is $60,000. While there are no fields on this map, should you create any, have our standard crops available to us. Have only one sell point at the sawmill. If you want to do farming, you're going to need to put down placeable sell points. See, this accepts wood chips only. I did test this with straw harvest. This sell point does not accept straw harvest pellets, so you need to put that down. Start with some basic forestry equipment. All new, none of it is leased. And of course there are no animals, and of course there are no contracts because we don't have any fields on the map. Take a look at our starting equipment. We've got the Valtra N174, Sampo Roslu HR46X tree harvester, the Tempa forestry trailer. We have the loader forks and then a log fork. That is our starting equipment. So let's take a look here. We've got shop. Have the shop trigger there. We have our customized repair and sell trigger around back. Our starting equipment is over here. Lined up, ready for us to go. And with that, let's get set up for the flyover. So one thing that I noticed when I was loading this map up to kind of give a look at it, and you might not notice this when you are kind of just driving around and doing things, but it's really noticeable when we're doing this aerial view, is there seems to be possibly a a shade of or a type of tree missing here, because see the trees off in the distance, see the close trees, but there's a point where the trees vanish and reappear. See them right there in front of us. They're off in the distance. Then there's this area where they kind of away, and then they pop right back in. Off in the distance, we've seen this before. Obviously, where they pop in, we haven't really seen before is this secondary. They're there, not there, and then they're back. This seems like there might be this interim tree texture between a distance tree and a near tree, just not being drawn in. Kind of an interesting experience. So if you look off in the distance here, you'll see kind of how the lay of the land is. The fact that the trees are all phased out at that distance. This map is kind of unique from Dark Forest in that there's a fair bit of water and a fair bit of the flooded area, marshland, and lots of dead trees. Let's get back over here to the shop. Make our way down the eastern edge of the map. You'll see what I mean by, if you've looked at some of these other forestry maps, layout of these sell points and triggers. This seems to be spot on with other things. It's like deja vu, if you will. Like, I think I recall maps where we've had stop this way a little bit, and we have fuel down a little bit over here to the corner, and we have our animal dealer. Building maybe is a little bit different, but the animal dealer is kind of where the animal dealer has been and seems to be in some other maps. And then down here, kind of in the corner, we have the sawmill. Get to the sawmill. Looks is different, but the fact that it's down here in this general vicinity seems to be a little bit too familiar. The sawmill is over this log bridge. Log cell trigger right here. Skip trigger around the back. And then we even going this way and then off in this direction across the southern portion of the map. While the landscape is different, just feels too much like other maps, in my opinion. This would have been an interesting spot to start at. Start at this cabin, opposed to starting up in the shop. Sleep trigger there and pickup truck. Been kind of interesting. This upper plateau area. Lots of riverways. Not really seeing too many ways of crossing the river. Unless we just have various low points. Must have to drive all the way around the map in order to get around to certain areas. See, now that we're high up enough, we don't have that phasing so much of the trees. When we lower down, up there it is. I don't recall seeing that interesting behavior on other maps. Other forestry maps in particular. So guys, that is it. That is daylight in the swamp. I mean, there's not really a lot going on here. A lot of land, a lot of trees, a lot of water, and your shop, fuel, your animal dealer, and your sawmill over here on the eastern side of the map. Overall, the map just has this. I've been here before, but I haven't. kind of a vibe to it. Let me know what you think in the comments. You have that same similar vibe of I've seen this map before, but it's different than what I've seen before. Till next time, happy farming. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.